My name is Ann O'Connor. I'm a writer and a speaker and a mother of 4. I have a 5-year-old girl, a 10-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, and my stepson is 23. A brief story is, about 25 years ago I flew through a windshield. And I had some pretty serious injuries, and I worked with them for years. But about a year and a half ago, one of those injuries really blew up, and my back was very, very badly injured. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I couldn't sit. I made it to the emergency room, and they gave me some miracle of narcotic, which allowed me to breathe again, and explained that I'd had what looked like at the time a ruptured disc, and it was pressing up against my sciatic. Actually, we didn't find that out until later after I did the MRI, but basically I had this major back injury, and I lay in bed and I stared at my ceiling and I thought, wow, I wish I'd painted my ceiling before this happened, because I had a lot of time to lay in bed. And I lost all feeling in my right leg from just above my knee down. And so I would go in and they'd stick needles in. And after a while, my doctor said, you kind of need to go see the neurologists up in La Crosse. Neurologists, that word sort of scared me because in my experience, the toolbox of a neurologist is the scalpel, and I was a little afraid of that. So I went in, and it's about an hour away for me to come. So I was on a lot of pain medication, but I remember some things very clearly from that first visit. And one of them was that this neurologist, she looked at me and she said, the body's natural course is one of healing. And I thought, okay, I can live with that. Good. You mean you don't want to cut me open? Good. And she didn't. And she was really very thoughtful and conservative and really paid attention to where I was at. And she was very hopeful too, because she said, yeah, you can't move your foot, but it's okay. This happens, and you'll be all right. And it was really encouraging. So I went home, and for a few months I tried to be all right. But after a few months, I still couldn't stand for more than a few minutes at a time. And so I came back up, and that wonderful doctor, Dr. Gundersen, had left the clinic, but I had another wonderful doctor, Dr. McDaniels, and he said, you can wait. It's something you could do, but after this long, you want to think about the permanent damage of your leg and the nerve damage that's happening in your foot and in your leg. And so I thought about that. And I came back and we made an appointment for the surgery, in which he did, just days later, actually. He was very fast. He was like, well, if we're going to do it, let's do it. And I was like, okay. And, you don't enter into surgery lightly, ever. But I feel like it was the right thing to do. I am still recovering, but I can walk. I can do yoga again. I can dance again. I can make meals for my children and carry my 5-year-old when she's hurt, which is nothing that I could do before. And so it's really given me my life back to a large degree. And that's huge. One of the things that I really appreciate about my experience at Gundersen Lutheran is that my doctors acted as my consultants, as my partners, as my team. Nobody ever said, well, you have to do this, or this is what you should do, or I'm gonna, it wasn't like that. And it is, for me, really important. I'm a pretty educated and, pretty self-sufficient woman. And I really appreciate someone who respects me enough to see that and to know that I have some choice about the decisions that I make, and that I have some incentive to look into my choices and to make those decisions. And if they can help me with all of their knowledge and their experience, and they can come to me and say, well, in our experience, this is what happens. These are the paths. We don't know for sure, but here's what I've seen. Then for me, it's critical information. It helps me figure out what I need to do in my life. And I don't feel like a lesser patient, and that's kind of an important key, because you walk into this office and it's their job, but it's my life, and it's a pretty big distinction. And so for them to recognize that and to have the compassion and the caring to pay attention to that reality for me was really critical. Yeah, for me, it is the old paradigm of like, here, come in and tell me what to do. And there's so many people I know who are unwell, like my father, who gets really angry at his doctors because they can't fix him. And I'm like, Dad, it's not their job to fix you. It's your job to live your life in a way that makes you healthy. And if you're not doing that, there's nobody out there that's going to make it better for you in here, So for me, it's the more that we can all start thinking in that way, I think the better the world is going to be, for all of us.